Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Vermin Hunter and this is 223 Centrefire Fox in on the farm 2024, and this particular film encompasses the foxing nights out between January the 1st and April 2024. You will see a number of foxes I've taken off the land on my farm. The permission I have here is on a farm in South Wales. It's a hill farm quite high up, so you will hear the wind howling through the mic set sometimes. I do apologise from that. It's quite windy up there and it's quite open. I do get a lot of the weather up there, extreme rain, and in the winter very cold winds and a lot of frost. The farmer keeps young bullocks there for meat, and you will notice some of the videos they'll come and watch me setting up. They're quite inquisitive animals. If I'm not careful, they will reach over the fence and they tend to mouth and bite some of my equipment. When I've been shooting pigeons on them before now, I've had to give up several times because they'll come along and they'll actually pick up the pigeon decoys and eat them and lick them and try to like stamp across everything I set up. And here, as you'll see, it's a very wet and very cold January 2024, and I set the collar up on the bottom of the field, and there's a fence line to the right hand side, and there's a row of trees there which sits about 100 yards, goes out about 200 yards, and then there's another row of trees at the end of that which sit in the middle of the large field which goes beyond that another 150 yards again. This time of the year I normally use a mixture of rusty rabbit in distress. I sometimes use the tenterfield calls. On this particular occasion I use the horny vixen, the vixen in heat, and always works to great success. When I'd set up here, when I walked down the field from the car, which is a good like mile away, I had heard several dog foxes calling. They were calling from one side of the farm to the other, so I knew they're about. I gave a few calls on the way down, put the call on the phone call, and I could hear them responding to the vixen in heat. I didn't want to bring them in too fast because I was a setup, so once I had set them up, I used the vixen in heat call and noticed on the thermal, as you see here from the left hand side of the tree line, I did notice a heat signature as a large dog fox made his way, dashed quickly from one side of trees to the other, and I lost him for some time. And I'm busy scanning the field to see if I could pick up another heat signature. No idea where he's gone. I presume he's gone into the gully behind the trees down below the fence itself. And I scan busily around and I'm still looking for him. And as I draw back to the right hand side, I notice he's sitting beyond the fence, just above the bank, looking at my collar, probably about 25 yards away from the collar. Took aim, dropped him. Good thump, good response. I know the bullet hit home. Immediately put everything down on the floor, made sure the safety was on, right is pointing the other way, and I set out with the thermal to try and find him, and he had indeed fallen down the bank. There's a gully of about 8 to 10 foot beyond the fence line, across the fence, down into the gully. Recover the fox and bring it back. A very big dog fox. This to date is probably the biggest dog fox I've shot. He's a really big, in good condition, good pelt on him, good tail, obviously good eating up on this particular part of the farm. So a good successful night out again. went out. It was filmed in February 2024. Again, a nice dry night, very cold night. Back up on the farm again, different part of the farm. This has got closer growth there, a lot more foliage on this end. You can see I'm filming from where I parked the car right across the top to the farm that's above me, along the road lines. What I notice sometimes, because it's tarmac road, the foxes do tend to travel between the two farms up and down the tarmac road itself. Here you're using the Icotec GC350 with the Raspberry Rabbit, the rabbit in distress call. As I'm scanning about using the Infiray T2 Pro thermal, good response because it's so cold, and I put it on black hot, and then you see it back into white hot. Very good response because it's so cold. It does tend to reflect a much better thermal picture. On this particular night, you will notice in response to the rabbit in distress call, 2 farm cats, and they sat on the hedge listening to the call, very inquisitive. They were mousing out right on the fence line, and they spent a fair bit of time across the field, and I had to pack up and move to another stand. And on the second stand, I did have a good result and a really big dog fox. After packing up, after seeing the farm cats, and they just wouldn't move every time I put the collar on, they tend to sit in the field, and obviously they're mousing around that area, and they were very interested in the call. So I moved back to the farm. This is the big field in front of the farm itself, next to the barn, so the cows are kept right during the wettest part of the winter. Now there's always dog foxes around this area here. Several foxes have taken off here, being very small cubs towards the end of the summer, and dog foxes generally don't see any vixens here. And as I scan across this field, what I normally find is I put the collar out sometimes, and then they'll come in. They'll hear the Raspberry Rabbit, rabbit in distress, vixen in heat, whatever call I'm using. And I notice they come in pretty quickly from the left hand side, where there's a road to my left coming out of the farm. This particular night, as I scanned about, there was a large, what I found out to be after I shot the dog fox 130 yards away. He's obviously busy mousing around the field. Take aim on him because I know he's going through the fence line there. I notice he's going through the fence line, he's going to the next farm fields, and obviously I've got permission on that farm further beyond. Nice solid thump, and I know the bullet's hit home. Instantly the fox drops. next night out is April 2024. Very mild in April. It wasn't very wet this year on the farm, which normally gets a lot of waterlogged fields. It's quite tricky to walk about. I can park the car on some aspect and walk down a surface road, and then for the rest of it then it's either gravel, mud, or I'm on fields. Again, as I said up, the cows have come to watch me by the car. Very intrigued by what I'm doing. And I make my way down through the fields away from the car, set up on the tripod, find a suitable place to film. And I'm busy scanning the fields using the thermal and the Scopemate to look about. I've got a good aspect of the thermal. For weather's good, there's a good clear picture. I can see out a good 300-400 metres in this particular shot. You'll see me with the road to the left I've just walked down, and this field here is about 300 metres long, and I'm filming right across it, looking across the fence line up to the farm above me. One particular shot you'll see here, this young fox comes in from a long way. I picked it up quite a long way away with the thermal. Came in like a train. I turned the collar off, which was the GC350 Ecotech playing the wounded rabbit, the rabbit in distress call, and he continued to come straight at me. Even though I turned the collar off, he continued to come straight at me past the collar, and then he stopped in his tracks. And I took a shot, and I must have just missed it, grabbed it and missed it, and split the hairs on his head. So he lives to fight another day. It's one more to take off the land. After this fox ran for the hills after I missed the shot, and they always give you advice, check behind you, and I did. I scanned to the left hand side again just in case, because I know obviously I'd used the rounder, set around the field, it made a lot of noise. So I began to scan again with the thermal along the road lines behind me, the gravel tracks, and to the right hand side there's an underground reservoir which you can see with the white signature there, the pumping house. And as I'm filming to the right hand side, I turned the gun literally almost to my rear, right over my right shoulder, and I noticed a thermal picture of a fox standing there watching me. He immediately took flight. It's about 90 yards away, took aim, looking across his back. Solid thump as I sent the round straight across his back, down through the back of the head. Dropped him instantly. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and thank you for following, and that way you'll get notifications for the next video, and that will be out soon, which will be Centrefire 223 Foxing on the farm, filmed from mid 2024 right up to present time.